as like you know, I have around 16 plus years of experience in IT. I worked on like different startups to set up their cloud environments, cloud setups, DevOps kind of culture implementations I worked on. And when come to my teaching experience, right, I have around 9 plus years of experience into teaching. So in 2013 around, I started like AWS training, and also I've conducted like 2015 onwards like an Azure. I've taken different sessions, online classrooms, and also I take multiple cloud sessions like AWS, Azure with DevOps. So this is my profile. Like before going to start, if you have any concerns, any questions, you can try to you can raise it so that I'll start my session. No, no questions, no concerns. I can start, right? I hope you can unmute and you can okay, participate in the sessions. Like you can ask any questions if you have any particular concerns, any particular inputs. If you have, you can raise it. So the course content I have with me, the whatever the presented to you, okay, I'll try to give you much more inputs and that particular course content. So as and when we go the all the content, I'll try to explain you what we are going to cover. So when I go through the particular content, I see like Jenkins as our one of the continuous integration tool. Apart from that, we also expose like we'll try to explain to you how Azure DevOps will work. Okay, we'll try to look at one by one. So can anyone tell me what exactly you know? I mean, what exactly covered till now in Azure point of view? Do you know anything? I mean, what exactly covered till now? So if you have a brief one or two inputs, like I'll try to take it forward from that.
I think we just started on what is cloud computing. That's the only thing we covered so far.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what you
we
know?
had only one session.
Okay, fine. What do you know now? Cloud computing is. Any idea now? Any idea what is a cloud computing is? So
Yeah, I mean,
initial days,
yeah.
yeah, good. Yeah, yeah. You want to give any inputs? Okay, fine. So I'll take you an introduction as well, like as when we go, okay, in the progress in the course, I'll get to know all your details and all. So if you look at like initially we used to have a data center, right? All the applications we used to maintain in a data center. Data center is all the infrastructure kept in a one place. We call it as a data center. In early 2000s, the virtualization concept came in a picture. What virtualization do? Any idea on what is virtualization? Any idea on what is virtualization?
Having more than one machines on a single physical host.
Yeah, exactly. So if you look at my system, right? So if you look at like an performance of this particular machine, it is hardly using 30% of my CPU. So what industry come up with a solution is virtualization. So on one hardware, we can run multiple virtual machines so that we can efficiently manage our resources and administration also very simple with the help of virtualization. Because of because of the virtualization, all cloud computing came in a picture. Like all the Azure, AWS, GCP, everyone use virtualization to maintain their infrastructure, to give the resources. Whatever the infrastructure we are using in cloud, they're all virtual servers, right? So what happened now? We used to have a physical hardware. On top of that, we used to install a hypervisor. Rather than installing directly an operating system on it, we are installing hypervisor. Hypervisor is on a layer, it is on a software, which helps us to share the resources between my VM and my physical hardware. Let us say this VM required an 2 GB RAM and one CPU. So that resources are collected by the hypervisor and it is shared to all the VMs, right? So the advantage with that is, so the cost optimization, right? So we can try to run multiple application on single hardware now, right? So we have an opportunity to scale the resources when there is a requirement, when there is a load, we can scale the resources. Maintenance is very easy with a virtualization. How it is easy, we'll look at now. So what cloud computing came in a picture? Why cloud computing came in a picture? Okay, we have anyway virtualization. Rather than sharing to their own organization, they started giving in a rental basis. We call it as a pay as you go model. What is that? Pay as you go. All the cloud computing resources works on pay as you go model. Like whatever the resources you are using, you have to pay for that. Okay. So initially Amazon started with whatever the Amazon.com using. So the resources they used to share to the public. Okay. And they used to charge based on usage. That we, okay, cloud computing started. So with the help of cloud computing, right? What are the advantages you get? Pay only what you have used. So the one of the other important thing is you don't need to maintenance free, right? So like as you know, like if I want to travel from one location to another location, I need not to purchase a car. I can take what are the advantages you will get if you book a car rather than purchasing, rather than you owning the car, right? What do you feel? What are the advantages you have with that? Just book a car and travel over there. Lot of advantages, right? So you need not to have an driving skills, licenses. You need not to worry about fuel, road tax, all the stuff, right? Someone will take care of that on behalf of you. Just you need to travel from one location to the location, pay what you have used, right? The other advantage is cloud computing. With cloud computing is the scaling. Suppose let us say you are using on a big billion day. Suppose you announced a big billion day. Okay, your organization has announced a big billion day for sales. There's a huge load on your applications, right? So automatically, with the help of cloud computing, automatically we can scale the resources to achieve that particular workload, right? We can scale compute resources, any other resources as and when you require, as and when you require. Like let us say it is on a no. In this particular case, you have announced a big billion day. You know that already. Okay, this particular day I may expect huge load. There are unexpected loads also there. In that particular case also, cloud will take care of launching new resources to support your application. How? We'll try to that. Right? So what is that? What is the main advantage with the cloud?
Pay only what you use.
pay as you go model. Whatever we used, you have to pay for that. So when come to the cloud computing, right? What is cloud computing? So it is an internet-based computing. Just you have an internet with the account, okay? Azure or GCP, AWS, whatever the account if you created, just that's it. Okay, you can start using it. Basically, it's all works on rental basis, right? You use it for that particular month and pay it. If you don't require, you can delete that resources, right? So in a simple terms, cloud computing is on-demand resources. Whenever we required, we can take that. Okay, that particular day, big billion day completed. We don't require that resources. You can delete them, right? On demand. Cloud, there's a lot of cloud providers out right in the market now. Microsoft, we have Azure, AWS, GCP, Alibaba Cloud, right? DigitalOcean. Lot of vendors are there now, right? So
Here, Raghu, I have a quick question here.
yes.
So, like, if we let's say if there is a already established company and they already have the infrastructure, right? A lot of infrastructure is already there, and let's say the applications which are already deployed and they don't need that much scaling capability. So, in that case, there's no point in going to cloud. Is that right? Or is there any other reason we have to go apart
Yeah,
from scaling and renting?
in a way, you are right. Let us say there is a data center, there is a huge infrastructure, it's working all fine. But if you look at right the hardware, there is some expiry period, right? There for that, okay, they have to pay the maintenance cost for let us say HP, Dell, whoever it is. After a certain time, okay, the maintenance, the what a warranty period will get completed. What now the organizations are thinking is rather than paying hardware maintenance, you need to purchase the hardware and all. So that application, they'll try to migrate it to cloud, right? So slowly, okay, they are trying to migrate the applications from on-prem to cloud. Whatever the new applications they are trying to deploy, let us say, they got a new requirement, they want to store the data, they want to have some mailing mechanism, they want to have new features. In that particular case, they're trying to deploy the new requirements in a cloud. Existing applications, once they have, okay, they want to go with on a cloud, let's say the maintenance warranty completed. So they are trying to migrate it to on-prem to cloud. Did I answer your question?
No, those are fine. So let me ask you. Let me be clear. Okay, let's say I'm working in an organization. Okay, and they already have good infrastructure and everything is there. So how can I present saying that, hey, we need to move to cloud? Then they'll say, why should we move? It's like already. I mean, the maintenance cost. I agree with you. Maintenance of the hardware and those. Whatever the cost incurred for the maintenance of facility and the employees, that will incur the cost. I totally agree with you. But at long run, it will pay, right? Maintenance is very less when compared to renting. You already own the infrastructure. Then why would anyone go to that cloud? And if we already have the scaling and all those things, whichever required.
Yeah, okay. In a way, it is right. But what I'm trying to convey is, let us say in my organization, okay, initially in 2000, I can say it is in a 13, 14 time, we used to have our own data center. But the problem with is, so the new application, whenever we want to have a new applications, right, we need to purchase the hardware. There is a huge investment to be done for that particular new applications to deploy. So what application owner think, okay, why can't we go with the cloud? There is no investment initially for that particular application, right? As and when we grow the business, they can increase the capacity, whatever they use, they pay for that.
No, I
Rather
agree for
than
the
investing,
startup. For the startups, I agree. Like for startup
not only
companies.
startups, not only. yeah, not only startups, the existing environment you have, now you want to have a new application to deploy. For that, okay, they need to go for a new hardware. They need to raise a PO, they need to get a hardware, they have to pay full amount for that, right? Right, new application. The existing infrastructure is okay, fully occupied. Now I want to go for, there is a new business requirement. They want to build a new application. For that, okay, they need to procure new hardware, right? In that case, the business owner, the application owner thought that, okay, rather than going, okay, getting the hardware, they want to invest that money on their product. They want to invest on marketing. They want to invest on improving the product. So what they thought, okay, rather than paying initially, they can pay after usage of 1 month. By the time the business will generate the revenue, okay, that particular month, and they can pay whatever they use, right? So we can avoid a lot of maintenance headache. Like you need not to maintain the power issues, you need not to maintain the manpower, a data center, right? Licensing costs and all those things, maintenance costs, those all will be reduced. So, so what we can do now, we can simply adopt cloud, deploy their application, your business will start using, revenue will get generated. For that, whatever they take and rent, the hardware they pay for that. Comparatively, purchasing the hardware in a one go, they'll get very less cost for renting that. And these cloud computings will give you a lot of other features as well. As and when we go, we'll try to understand that. Like there is an on-demand cost, there's a reserved cost. What you need to commit is on a, okay, let us say I use this hardware for 1 year. If you commit, if you're given a reservation, if you take a reservation, again you'll get at least 40% discount on your hardware on rental for 1 month. Okay, if you get 40% discount again, whatever the charges you have, that is comparatively very less when you invest enough one time. There are different cost saving mechanisms, methods are there. Nowadays, if you look at in a cloud computing, there's a separate, okay, the separate positions are, okay, like in a date, okay, FinOps. FinOps is another field, another, okay, new job openings are there in a cloud computing. That is how you better optimize your cost in cloud. Okay, we can take a, rather than taking on demand, you can take a reservations for 1 year. So that will get at least 40%. If you take 3 years, you'll get 50% of discount on monthly basis. So such a way you can try to utilize efficiently your cloud resources and you can minimize your bills. Okay, and you can expand your, you can try to give latest features of cloud to the end users.
Okay.
Did I answer your question?
Yep.
Okay. So when you are planning to go with any cloud, they'll give you for certain free resources, right? Even if it is an Azure, if it is an GCP, AWS, they'll give you certain credits. If you are planning for a business point of view is different. If you are planning for learning point of view, it is different. Right? There are two types of subscriptions you can get: free subscription, paid subscription. Right? Free subscription, certain amount of resources. Okay, they'll give you a certain amount for that particular learning point of view. You can utilize that and you can try to use it. Paid subscription, so whatever you have to, whatever you have used, you have to pay for that. So delete, if you are using a paid subscription, delete the resources, whatever we have used. You can set up on a billing alerts and all, right, to reduce to make sure that, okay, we have using efficiently our resources. Okay, we can set up alerts and all. We'll try to look at that. Okay. So what are the benefits of cloud computing we have understand now? So at launch, right, we can focus on our business. We need not to worry about the infrastructure part. Okay, we can focus on our business. The hardware maintenance is not our job. That is someone's responsibility that Azure will take care of, Microsoft will take care of, AWS will take care of, right? So that is not my business. My business is something different. I'll take care of that. If you look at traditional data center challenges, as I discussed now, so the large upfront investments. So before going to utilize that application, you have to purchase that. You have to invest amount on the hardware. So, and also that hardware need to be shipped. You need to set up that in your data center. Okay, that all the required networking setup, operating system installations, all these things you have to do. Okay? If you want to scale that, okay, rapidly in the data center, there is some constraints. Okay, there are some constraints if you want to rapidly expand in your data center, your resources. Whereas in cloud, you can expand whatever the way you want, right? There is no certain restrictions. And let us say we understand, okay, let us say you announced a big billion day, you purchased a lot of hardware and you utilize that particular day. Next day, that hardware you may not use efficiently, right? You already invested on hardware, utilized 1 or 2 days for the big billion days. After that, you may not efficiently use that hardware. Whereas in cloud, if you announced a big billion day, you can scale the resources. Once you have done with that, you can delete that. So whatever the new resources you have used, only 1 hour or 1 day, you pay only for that. That's the pay as you go model, right? Right. So let us say in your home there is a function, right? So you want to you want to take in a 10 cars. Now you may not purchase the 10 cars for that particular function day. You rent a car, you travel from one location to other location, okay, and just pay for that, right? So these are all the different advantages I can say with the cloud. Whereas on a traditional data center point of view, if it's in a sudden scale, sudden growth, sudden requirement comes, there is some limitations with that. These are all the, I'll share this PPT with you. These are all the different cloud computing benefits, right? So the capital, whatever you have for your application, for your business, no initial investments, right? You need not to invest it. You can invest on your business. Pay only how much you have used. Right? So the advantage is you can increase the speed and agility. Nowadays, all the developers, all the environments, they are talking about agile. So if you want to work in a agile environment, your infrastructure also should be in that kind of an agile. So we can try to procure the hardware whenever we required. If I don't require, you can delete them. You can reduce the cost in that way. Right? We have reduced the infrastructure build and deployment from weeks to minutes. In span of minutes, we can launch our resources with the help of DevOps integrated with the cloud computing, right? So we can try to maintain the resources in span of minutes. Right? So you can stop the spending money on running and maintenance of the data centers. Right? You can have on a scale. You can scale across the globe. This Microsoft and AWS maintain their infrastructure across the globe, so you can scale across the globe. Suppose your business in India and US both, right? So you can adopt on a cloud and you can maintain the resource in both the data centers so that okay, you can efficiently work within a cloud. Your business will grow in both the ways. There are different cloud computing models. SaaS, PaaS, and software as a service. Okay, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service. Right. If you look at let us say car rental business, suppose. In a data center side, let us say if you understand, you have to purchase the car, you have to maintenance, you have to take a fuel details, you have to look at licensing details, driving licenses and all you have to take care. Right? So if you rent a car for a week, right? Certain resources you have to take care of. What are the resources you have to take care of? Let us say we have taken a rent a car, right? What are the things you look at? You have to take care. Any idea? You taken a rent a car, right? So what are the things you have to look at? What does the vendor will take care of?
You have to pay just the rent for the renter car.
Yeah, you have to pay rent a
The
car.
vendor.
That is, and you have to look at fuel also, right? So you're going long way. You have to look at fuel details. You have to have your own driving license. When you rent a car, you have to drive it. Okay, you have to drive it. You have to have a license. Okay, those things. That if you compare that with an infrastructure as a code, sorry, if you compare that infrastructure as a service, right? Right. If you look at here, if you rent a car, right, the maintenance and all taken care by your vendor, but okay, fuel charges, insurance, driver, vehicle navigation, these things you have to take care. That we can compare with infrastructure as a service. The hardware is given by cloud provider, but operating system on top of whatever the operating system you installed, it could be Windows or Linux. Okay, that you have to take care of. You have to install application on it, that you have to take care of. Okay, that we can compare infrastructure as a service. We can compare with renting a car. If you look at like rather than renting a car, right, you can take a Uber taxi, right? So all these fuel details, insurance, driving details, vehicle details, everything taken care by that. Okay, the cab provider. Just we need to pay. We need to tell where we want to go. We have to pay what we have used. Right? So that we can compare with platform as a service. The platform as a service, they'll give you a platform. You need not to worry about hardware. You need not to worry about the operating system. That is taken care by cloud provider. Even application they install and come back. Just you need to worry about your data. You need to deploy the software. Let's say developer given software. You are deploying that into environment and you are taking care of that. Right? The application OS hardware is managed by your cloud provider. So clear these two infrastructure service and platform service. Any questions on this?
No.
Okay. So now if you take in a bus, right, you need not to tell where to go. There's already decided on that particular bus. Okay. So where to go? Just you are onboarded on that. So here you need not to worry anything, right? Just you have to pay from where to where you travel. That's it. That we can compare with the software as a service. Let us say you have a Gmail. You need not to worry about anything, right? Just to create an account and use it and pay for that. Okay, you may not pay for Gmail, you are using free service, but if you are using for organization, right, you have to pay for that. If you are using Google Drive, till 15 GB they have given free. After that, you have to pay for that, right? You are not managing any Google Drive. Just you are creating account and start using it. Similar to soft, it is Google like a Gmail, Outlook. These are all comes under software as a service. So you need not to worry about any licensing charges, operating system, application, hardware, nothing. Just you create, let us say Office 365. In your office, they want to create a multiple mail IDs, right? You required okay, the mail subscriptions. For that, you need not to manage anything. Just go Office 365 and create account and start using it, right? Agree with me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Now, now if you look at the comparison with cloud computing services, right? If you have own car on-prem, you have to manage everything. Infrastructure as a service, certain resources, certain okay, operating system details, application details, you have to take care of. Hardware details all taken care by infrastructure provider. And platform as a service, you have to manage your data and application. Rest of all taken care by cloud provider. When come to the software as a service, everything is taken care by your infrastructure provider. You just create account and start using it, right? In Azure point of view, what are the different infrastructure services, software services, and platform services? Here I've given it is a mistake. Sorry. There's some mistake here. Sorry. So these VMs are an infrastructure service actually. By mistake, it is a software service. The VMs, whatever we launch, that is comes under infrastructure service. In Azure, the popular are platform services like mobile apps, API apps, like web apps, function apps. These are all platform services. When it comes to the software as a service, like if you look at an Office 365, Outlook, these are all comes under software as a service, right?
Hi, Raghu. I'm not able to see your screen.
Is it? Okay. Uh, okay, let me share back again. Can you please look at once now? Is that visible?
Yes, thank you.
I hope it is clear, right? How long it is not visible?
From starting.
Oh, okay, fine. Just go through once the video. Okay, if you have any concerns, okay, you can raise it to know. Okay. So apart from the, we have a deployment models also in the cloud computing. One is in a public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud. What is a public cloud? Private cloud and hybrid cloud. If you look at here, all these cloud computings now we are looking at Azure, GCP, AWS. These are all comes under like public cloud, right? So anyone can create an account and you can start using it, right? That is a public cloud. Private cloud in the sense, in my organization, let's say I'm working for city. So there is a lot of departments in my organization, so they require some hardware. So what I'll do, I'll create a private cloud and try to give the resources to my internal departments. That is nothing but a private cloud. When
So,
come to the hybrid.
so even for private cloud, these big parties have to be involved. Let's say let's say for government agency, for a smaller government agency, they want to build their own private cloud. So for that purpose, they need to involve this AWS or Google guys, or like they can set it up their own cloud.
Yes, nowadays, now recently, AWS also announced a, 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 a resource for your own data center. Azure has come up very early, like in 2000, I can say in 17, they come up with an okay Azure Fabric. With that, okay, you can try to maintain your own data center like Azure, how we manage. So, okay, they are supporting private cloud as well. So most of the organizations, they go with an hybrid if they want to go with an instead of private cloud. So they go with hybrid. Certain resources they have already have in their data center, they utilize it, and the combination of that. Okay, there's some of the resources they have in cloud. Okay, and some of the resources they are in data center. So they want to implement a hybrid solution. Most of the organization they have an hybrid solutions. Okay, still they are migrating to cloud their applications. They have connectivity from data center to cloud. Okay, there's some of the resources they are using in cloud. Let us say storage, they want to use it in the cloud. Okay, storage solution is very costly in data center. Like you have to procure hardware from EMC, Dell. It is very costly. Okay, the deduplications or SAN devices, they are very costly. So okay, they want to go with backups point of view or else storage point of view. They want to go with the cloud. Okay, so in that case, we can implement a hybrid cloud. Okay, we can implement hybrid cloud. So we try to understand like an okay, what is an cloud computing models. So cloud computing, whatever you use, everything is pay as you go model. It is nothing is free. Okay, yes, it is some resources are free for certain time, right? Certain time for your learning point of view, they'll give you free, right? After that, okay, you have to pay. If you are using for a commercial point of view, you have to pay for that. Nothing comes free. Some resources, yes, IAM, like if you want to manage the users and all, certain basic resources are free. But rest of all, anywhere you are using hardware, they'll charge for that. Okay. Excuse me, just give me 1 minute, please. I'll be in a mute for 1 minute. I need to attend one call, unavoidable call. Yeah, thanks for waiting. So certain resources are free as part of learning. So the pricing models, if you observe, right, as I told you, pay as you go model, charges based on what we have used. The other advantages also there, like you can try to procure like based on reserved instances, you can try to reserve the instances for 1 year or 3 years. That as we go forward, we'll try to learn that. It's let me try to go to directly. Okay, jump into the structure point of view. So Azure point of view, let us try to understand Azure point of view. They have maintained the infrastructure across the globe. They have expanded. They are coming up with the new regions, new data centers. Even in India, in Hyderabad, they announced a new data center region and all. First of all, we try to understand how they have, what is the footprint of an Azure, okay, across the globe. If you look at here, is this visible?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is visible. Yes.
So if you look at the across the globe, okay, this particular blue color one is indicating the region, right? These are all regions. What is a region? Basically, a collection of data centers, right? In India, if you look at south, central, west, right? That is a region. Region is nothing but collection of data center. It could be AWS or Azure, same. They call it as a region, right? In the region, they maintain the availability zones. Okay, let me try to simply explain you. Suppose, let us say, this is in a region. In each region, at least they maintain 3 availability zones. At least they maintain 3 availability zones. If you look at here, this is one availability zone. This is one more AZ we call it. AZ means availability zone. We have at least 3 availability zones. Why? Because of any reason, if one data center went down, still you have other data center which can serve your application, right? So we call this as a region. All this is an AZ. AZ is nothing but availability zone. AZ1, AZ2, AZ3 kind of, right? Is this clear? What is the difference between region and availability zone?
Yes.
So there are like these data centers, these availability zones are maintained at least 200 kilometers difference. Regions are geographically separated, right? To maintain the high availability, basically, because of any reason, if one particular data center went down, they make sure that rest of 2 are working fine. Okay. So what we have, the infrastructure, if you look at across the globe, they have different regions. In the regions, they maintain at least 3 data centers that we call it as an availability zones. So what is the region which is physically located around the world? Okay, that we have a cluster of data centers. So if you look at the data center point of view, they maintain low latency between the globally expanded their infrastructure. They use their own network. Global footprint, if you look at across the globe, they have infrastructure, high availability. They make sure that in each and every region maintains at least 3 data centers. How to choose the region? Tell me. Let us say we announced we started on a company like on a bigbasket.com. So where you try to launch the resource, which region you choose?
Close by where you live.
Close by our end users, right? So let us say bigbasket.com, they targeted Indian customers, right? There's no point if you launch the resources in US, right? So every request should go to US and get the response, right? Right? So that will not on a right way. So what we can do, is we can launch the resources nearest to the data center, right? Because to reduce the latency, right? If my request goes to US and get back the response, so it will take a lot of time. So to avoid that kind of latencies, we can try to go with, right? We can go with this particular one, right? So nearest availability zones, nearest regions. So every region they have internally connected with their own network. Okay, Azure manage their own network internally, so that any data like there is a very fast communication. They use their own network. So each Azure region is always paired with another region with the same geography like this. Right? So to maintain the high availability, we can launch the resources over here as well as here. They maintain some regions for especially for government organizations, US government. Right? What is the advantage if you pair these resources? Suppose you want to maintain DR, disaster recovery. If something goes wrong in the east, I want to make sure that the resources are available in other west region. For that, DR point of view, disaster recovery point of view, that connectivity between internal, that is very useful. Clear? So just go through this. Okay, we have already discussed most of the topics here. Just try to look at it. What is the availability zones we discussed? Availability zones are, if you look at this is the way they connected with. So in a region, these are all the different data centers. They internally connected with high-speed, private, fabric, optic fiber network, fiber optic network. So internally they are connected, right? Any questions till now? So how we understand that regions are geographically separated. Availability zone is a set of data centers collected is nothing but a region. So availability zone is nothing but set of data centers or single data center. That is fine.
So we might have connectivity between each regions, right, within a country. So how is that connect? Is there any difference between the connectivity between each region versus the connectivity between the availability zones?
So basically within the region, there are multiple availability zones. They are all interconnected. Okay. Apart from that, these regions are also interconnected. Suppose you want to make sure that every data is maintained my region now, let us say west region, and also I want to replicate that to south region as well. In place in any because of any issue, so we can try to get that from other region as well. So let us say simply we can switch to south region, and we can our business operations will run as is.
So basically, all are interconnected, as though all availability zones are in.
If you look at here, right? Yeah, my previous example, if you look at here, these regions also interconnected.
So is there a difference between that connectivity versus the connectivity between the AZs within a region?
Not exactly. So, but only the thing is how your application want to connect. Let us say, I have a business across the country. So what I'll do, I'll try to launch some servers over here as well as here. So that nearest location will try to connect. And database will sync both the regions so that they can maintain unique database. So we'll try to learn as and we go. So we'll try to maintain high availability applications so that you can understand much better.
So maybe there should be some security difference between some kind of demarcation.
Security, we can say not security point of view. Security point of view, they maintain same across the globe, but the latency point of view, how you want to connect, how you want to maintain your data, your application, right? So how fast you want to connect, from where is your target audience? Based on that, we can try to prepare.
Okay.
So these are all we are learning to manage this cloud computing, right? So by learning these all cloud computing, we try to build our solution such a way, okay, we can try to get high available applications, DR solutions, and all those stuff. Uh, there isn't a hard stop, I hope. So if you have any questions now, okay, you can try to ask me so that, okay, we are going to start tomorrow onwards the actual cloud computing session. We are going to create an account tomorrow, and okay, we are going to look at how we start with our cloud journey. Okay, so I'll try to ask you to create, I'll show you how to create account with Azure, and now we'll start our lab activities from tomorrow onwards. Till now, whatever we discussed, like, okay, so if you have any questions, you can raise. Yeah. Any questions? Every class are like a 15 minutes, like we'll try to spend for our QA, so that okay, we can try to first 5 minutes or 10 minutes, first 5 minutes I can say, I'll spend for your previous day questions or something like that. So once we have done the session, last 15 minutes also I'll spend for your question and answers. We'll try to look at how better we do the lab sessions and all. So I'll connect with the management and I'll let you know in a tomorrow session. Any questions?
So for tomorrow onwards, the class will be 1.5 hours or just 1 hour?
Yes, it is on a 1.5 hour. So it starts at 6:30, same like you have on same time what we have joined today. It is an IST, suppose it is on a 6:30 a.m.
Yeah.
For you it is on a 7
CST.
Yeah, 7 p.m. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Raghu sir. Everyone, let's keep this more interactive. Just be open. Any queries you have, is better you ask. Then only you can get it clear answers. Okay. Any further queries you have, you can maybe type in the text. If you can't unmute yourself, you can type in the text.
Yeah, I want to give one more input for you. I've gone through the course content now. Okay, apart from the content, what you have here in that, we are going to look at an Azure DevOps as well. Okay, as you are learning Azure, so the industry expects you to have Azure DevOps experience as well. So we are going to cover Azure DevOps. Okay, that is nothing but if you go for a certification point of view, it is on a 400. Okay, 104 is basically administration point of view, and we are going to cover. I'm going to cover. Okay, we are going to update
We'll be covering. Yes.
Yeah, we are going to cover. We are going to update our course content with an Azure DevOps as well. So
yes,
and also
yeah,
and also I'll give you the basic understanding on AWS, so that in US market, okay, if you know multiple clouds, so that would be added advantage. Okay, whenever there is a requirement, when you're trying to learn DevOps, right, we'll discuss open source tools as we have already in the course content, like okay, Jenkins and all. We'll try to focus to Azure DevOps as well. Okay, so as and when required, I'll try to give you all the basic understanding on AWS. Okay, but Azure is our main focus. Azure will try to discuss in detail. Okay, so with a certificate oriented. Okay.